Sometimes we find these old axes while metal detecting, and a lot of times we just leave them in the woods because we just got started and we don't want to walk around for 3 hours with a 5-pound axe in our bag. But there's been a few that I brought home, and I hope you enjoyed the video. But that's not what this is about. Several years back, I was talking to my brother on the phone, and he mentioned that him and our cousin Harry and some other relatives were going kayaking down the Uwharrie River in North Carolina. And that really got me interested in kayaking. So I started looking around at different places where I could buy a nice kayak. I looked at Dick's Sporting Goods, I looked online, and I finally settled for one by Field & Stream called the Eagle Talon. And it was a 12-foot kayak that I got on sale at Dick's Sporting Goods for about $400. And I was thrilled to have it, let me tell you. So I went out there, picked it out, and while I was at it, I said, I'm gonna get me a fishing pole and a nice reel. And so of course the salesman was more than happy to help me out with that. So I picked up a nice Andy rod and a pin reel, and it was about as tall as me. And the guy said it would be great for kayak fishing. I said, okay. So I walk out of there happy. I got a new kayak, I got a new fishing pole, and a new reel to go with it, and I'm walking on air. To make things easier, I just pulled my truck up there beside the doors, and the guy helped me get it out to the truck. Of course, I've never owned a kayak, so I didn't know much about them. I just stuck it up in the back of the truck, the front end of the kayak sticking out over the cab, and I had a couple little straps. I strapped it down pretty tight, and I headed on back home. I got home, drug it around the back through the yard, and of course, I wasn't too worried about it getting damaged because it's a plastic boat on grass. So I set it back there and hoped it would be there in the morning, and of course it was. Well, me and my brother and my cousins planned a kayak trip. We were going to go down the Uwharrie River. We were going to go in at one place and have somebody waiting for us downriver, probably about 3 or 4 miles. And, if it was not too late, we'd do it again. Finally, the day arrived that I was to make my trip to North Carolina with this new kayak, and I was happy. I took that Friday off and left probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I just needed to get there, get everything unloaded, and spend the night for the next morning's adventure. So I throw the kayak in the back of the truck. I put 2 or 3 of those straps on it, little small 1-inch tie-down straps that ratchet. And I have it in there pretty good, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm getting going down the road and thinking about how fun it's going to be hanging out with my brother and everybody. And meantime, I'm looking in my rearview mirror, making sure everything's good. I'm looking in my side view mirror. I can see the straps from there, and everything's cool. So I'm cruising along. I get down around Greensboro area, and I decide I'm going to stop and get some gas, and I'm going to maybe get a snack. So I'll pull in this little place and pull off to the side. And as I get out of the truck, I said, let me check these straps. I'll go back there and start yanking on the straps to see if they're still secure, and 2 out of 3 were, but one of them was a little bit loose. So I said, okay, I'm gonna ratchet this back tight. So I tighten it up, didn't think nothing else of it. I hit the on-ramp and I punch it. I'm going down the on-ramp about 65 miles an hour. I don't want to slow anybody down. I've learned if you're getting on the interstate, you better be doing at least the speed limit. So I kick it, I'm going down the road, and get on over there. I cut it through a couple lanes, and I'm cruising along, and I'm thinking about how fun it's going to be floating down this river, maybe doing some fishing along the way, but just basically fellowshipping with my brother and my cousins. And I was really looking forward to that. While I'm thinking about how I'm going to impress my brother and my cousin with my nice new 12-foot Field and Stream kayak. I'm cruising along 70, 75 mile an hour, just matching the traffic. Traffic's pretty heavy. Everybody's trying to go home, and I'm just trying to get out of Greensboro. I got the radio up, windows down. I'm cruising along pretty good. I'm not thinking about anything but getting to Asheboro where my cousin lives. I glanced back at the back of the truck through the rearview mirror, and it looks like one of my straps is loose. I'm like, oh Lord, what's going on here? So I start looking at signs. Can I get off on the exit? Maybe tighten this strap up. And I look back again. Now my kayak is dancing. It's bouncing left or right on the back of the cab of the truck. And I'm like, oh crap! I look over to my left and there's nobody there. I decided to try to pull over to the other lane and get in the emergency lane. But before I could even let off the gas and put on the turn signal, I see it pull to the left and roll out of the bed of the truck. So I stop right in the middle of the interstate during rush hour traffic. Cars are stopping behind me. Some are zooming by me, blowing the horn. I hear people yelling. I get out and I start to run toward the kayak, and I realize my flasher's on. I run back to the truck, and now I can't remember where my flasher button is. I'm like, oh crap. And then I see it on top of the steering wheel. Well, hit that on, go back to the kayak, and I look down, grab by the handle, and as I'm starting to look up, there's this lady sitting there waiting on me. She's white knuckling the steering wheel. She's got this deer in the headlight look on her face. So I wave a quick thank you to her, and she just stares at me. I grab the boat, I throw it in the back of the truck, I jump in, I turn on the right signal, and somehow manage to get to the emergency lane without getting crushed by a semi. So I'm sitting there. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest. I'm breathing heavy, and I'm thinking, I could have been dead. As I'm sitting there, trying to figure out what to do next, semis are passing me. The truck is rocking from their wake. Cars are zooming by. I'm on the side of the interstate during rush hour traffic in Greensboro, and I'm trying to figure out how am I going to strap this thing to the truck. Now, I decided it'd be best if I get a little bit further off of the shoulder. So I pull down in a little grassy area, probably about 5 or 6 feet from the emergency lane. And I get out, emergency flashers still on. I go around the front of the truck and come up the other side. I'm standing there looking. Traffic's passing me. The wind's blowing in my face. The kayak's sitting there. And I realize I'll just need to strap it down flat. So that's what I did. So I make my way onto Asheboro, pull the kayak out of the back of the truck, give it a once over, and I can see it's got some battle scars. It hits the highway before it ever hit the water. But I had a great time with my cousin and my brother going down the Uray River on my new, slightly damaged Field and Stream kayak. I've only got one magnet fishing video on my whole channel, and it was pretty fun. Found some cool things, but I got this idea, why don't I do a magnet fishing kayak video? That would be awesome. I haven't seen anybody do it, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm the first one. So I load up the kayak one weekend and I head down to a place called Waller Mill Park. Now this is in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm not too far away, living in Newport News at the time. I purchased a new magnet from Brute Magnetics off of Amazon. I think it was about $36. It was a whopping 450 pounds. Of course, this is when magnet fishing first started out. But I was happy to get it. Went and bought some paracord, threw it all inside the kayak, and took off. Now, I never checked the rules to see if it's allowed or if it's not allowed, because Wallermill Park is a reservoir. And mostly people just fish and just canoe in there. Well, I go down on the boat ramp, tie off the kayak, go park the truck, and I hop in and get going across the water. I'm pretty familiar with the area since I've fished there many times, so I know there's a tunnel that goes underneath the main road called Airport Road. I make a beeline for the tunnel. I'm making pretty good time. There's not many people there, and it just feels like a great day. I'm really hoping to make a good video. I go through the tunnel and I'm going up the side. The road is on my right and there's a small bank there. I toss the magnet several minutes, out, pull it back in, out and pull it back in, and nothing. I can't believe this place is so clean, but then I realized, well, it is a reservoir. So I keep on tossing for a couple more minutes, and then I finally get something, and it's heavy. It's actually so heavy that it pulls me and the kayak right over top of it. I yank on it, pull on it, not too hard because I don't want to flip, and it doesn't budge. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to lose my magnet the first time out. So I position myself to where I think I'm going to have my most leverage so I can get this thing off of whatever it is, or at least pull it up. And I pull steady, and I'm pulling hard. And I'm thinking, it's got to budge. I don't feel nothing moving. About that time, the magnet decided to release. The inertia of me pulling so hard flipped me backwards. I hit the water. I'm going down. And I'm thinking, what have I done? As I start kicking to make my way back up, I realize this water is really deep. The kayak's about 8 feet above my head, and I'm swimming up to it. I finally get to it. I grab hold of the side, and everything that YouTube taught me about flipping my kayak back over and getting back in it has been deleted from my brain. So I do what an amateur would do. I lay there sideways across this kayak on my belly, stuck. I'm thinking, well, all I gotta do is kick my way over to the side. But no, the rope for the magnet is tied to the front of the kayak and it's not long enough, so I can't get to the side of the bank and pull the magnet free again. So I start looking around. I see a john boat way off in the distance with 2 people in it. I see another john boat even further away. I'm sitting there, 15 minutes go by. A black SUV comes across the road, slows down, and the lady yells out the window, "Hey, I called the park people." I said, "Thank you," and she took off. Can't reach the bottom. I can't reach the shore. And I look up, and there's the john boat that was way off in the distance. And a man and a woman says, "Do you need some help?" I said yes. And about the same time, I heard a motorboat. It was coming through the tunnel. And 2 young guys pulled up beside me. And I swear I'd never felt so happy in my life to see these guys. They helped me in the boat, helped me flip the kayak back over, helped me get the magnet off of whatever was down there, which I was dreaming it was a Civil War cannon or something great like that. And they hauled me back to shore. Along the way, they say, "There's not supposed to be magnet fishing here." I said, "Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore."